Hi everybody, so welcome back to another tutorial video. It feels like it's been a while with the holidays. I haven't done a tutorial video, but I'm going to do one on a 1968 Super Sterling. This is the original finish, but I can't quite tell if it's the Star Mist Blue or the like the Seafoam Green or a combination of both. I don't know if the color's faded, but this is a little more greenish here. This is a little more bluish. I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, this is the original finish. It does come in different color variations. The Super Sterling does. This is a good manual typewriter. So I do get questions a lot. Hey, I'm a writer and I'm looking for something that's a nice manual machine. And I would say the Super Sterling is a great one for you. And it's at a little more affordable price versus some of the older Sterlings, like the flat tops or, from the 30s or 40s. The 68 is going to be a much more affordable option and still be a good, if it's been taken care of. Remember, these are vintage machines. So even if I give you a nice review on a Super Sterling, doesn't mean that the Super Sterling you find is going to work that way. It really has to do with how well it had been cared for over the decades and if it's been serviced or not. So you always have to take that into consideration. But overall, in generalities, I like the Super Sterling. This one happens to have the smaller font. I believe it's the 12 CPI on it. And but I have, with my petite hands, it is a manual that I can manage well and I can get into a nice flow. So this is going to be also a little tutorial video. I'm going to do it really quick, but that's just my review, my recommendation. This is a really good option for those of you who are writers, authors, and you want a nice manual typewriter. Here you go. I recommend the Super Sterling. So with that being said, let me show you a little bit about the Super Sterling and how it works if you are unfamiliar with it. So this is your carriage, and I assume a lot of you may already know, but if you don't, this is your carriage. Here's your bell, and to move your carriage, there are two plastic levers in the back. It is fairly common for these to break off, but you can maybe I'll get my husband to do a video on that. When you need to create a substitution to get that leverage to move the carriage. But anyway, there's your carriage, there's your bell. This one has a nice strong bell. To move your margins, you just press these silver tabs and set the margins where you will. This is just kind of a paper guide and can come in handy if you're using like a statement size paper or postcard or something like that. The lever on the right side is a paper release. I'll show you that in action here in a moment. And then you have your line selector. There's a 1, 2, and 3, and there's a little metal tab right next to it. That is your line selector. Now on the left side, you'll notice that there is a black button. Okay, right there. That is for variable spacing, or it's a release for your platen. So when you turn your platen or your roller, whatever you want to call it, you'll hear it clicking, and it's clicking every line or every half a line. So when you load your paper, you hear it clicking, but maybe you have lined paper and you want to get it lined up just right. Well, then you're going to come over here and press that black button, get it exactly where you want it, and then release. Okay, and so that's how that works. I'm going to set my margin over here onto my paper. Move that over. So your carriage will move only as far as you have the margin set, okay? So that is how that works. I am going to move the carriage to the left, and we're going to open up this top. Please make sure your handle, I know it's gone off the screen now, but make sure your handle is not anywhere near the cover, because when you go to open it, that handle is going to scrape it because there's very little clearance between the handle and the top. Inside, you're going to see your typing basket. This is your escapement area. Here are your spools. Okay, so this happens to have some metal universal ribbon spools. So this does take a universal ribbon, and you just pull them out and pop them back in, and make sure there is a guide kind of wire right here. You got to make sure that ribbon goes through that guide. Okay, and it's very messy. So can you see that? So I got ink all over me. So you're going to want to either have a cloth nearby or gloves. But black is on top, red is on bottom. Please check out our playlist that has the changing ribbon videos, and that will show you how to change out your ribbon. Okay, and then also on the left side, you'll see this little silver lever right here. And let me hold it up to see if you can see it. Right there. Okay, that is your ribbon reversal. So right now it's going this direction, and you can hit reverse and it'll go this direction. And I do get questions that say, oh, I thought the ribbon would automatically reverse. No, it has to do with the ribbon itself. If the ribbon has a little grommet, like a little metal, it'll look like a metal ring or a clip, then the ribbon will trigger an auto reverse. But if not, all ribbons have that. So it's less about the typewriter and more about the ribbon. Okay. Let's go ahead and close that. So here's your keypad up here, and your keys. And like I said, I have very petite hands, but I was able to manage this manual typewriter just fine. Many manual typewriters require a lot of strength to use the manual. And whether because you have to press down so far or it's kind of hard to press down, whatever that is, this one is very manageable. Here's your shift and your shift lock. Then you have your backspace right here. Backspace does not erase. It just backspaces. So if you make a mistake, you can use, whiteout or an eraser or something like that. If you do, please do that. Try to move the carriage, and you're not always going to be able to do it where it's not going to fall into your typing basket or escapement area. In fact, I say don't even use it. That's my personal opinion on that. You just X through or type over a mistake. That's what I do. This is your touch selector. So this just determines how hard these type bars strike your paper. The other way you can do that is with your fingers. So my husband has a very heavy hand. I have a very light hand, and that does make a difference. And you have your tab settings right here. So you have a set and a clear, and let me show you how that works. So right now there's a tab right there in the middle. So I'm going to clear that tab. I'm going to come back and I'll hit that tab key again, and you can see that the tab is cleared. So let's set one right here. And then let's set another one right here. And so you've got a tab, and that is how that works. Now, if I want to clear both of those tabs, what I do is you release your margin, like that, but then hold down the clear, and I just go back a couple times, release, and that should clear all of them, and it did, okay? And then the last one is the margin release. So when you're typing, okay, so now it stopped on me because that bell is telling you, hey, you are at the end of your margin and you need to hit that return handle. But if you're in the middle of a thought or a word and you keep going, then you can hit margin release when it stops, finish your thought or word, and then use the return handle to go to the next line. So that is how the margin release works. Here's your color selector. So it's up on the black all the way down, and you now have the red ribbon. And my vibrator just got stuck there. Sorry about that. Gotta fix that. Hold on. Things happen like that, the red ribbon. And the reason it's sticking up like that, to be honest, is because the red is on the bottom, black is on the top, but it shouldn't stick up that high. It just is. Now the middle is the stencil selection, and you're not ever going to use that. And if you have it on there, it's not going to type right. In fact, it's not going to make any impression at all because that ribbon vibrator, which is this right here, isn't going up and engaging with your type bar. So if you have issues when you're typing, like it's really faint or it's not imprinting on your page, check two things. First, make sure your ribbon doesn't need to be reversed. That's very common. And then check your color selector to make sure it's firmly on the black or the red. So that is just a tip for you for any typewriter, honestly. And I just got ink, so I'm going to have to go clean this off. But I hope you found this helpful and helped you make a good buying decision or helped show you how to use a typewriter that maybe you had in your attic. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and you will have a great day. Bye-bye.